Why do I feel like I've been waiting years to do one of these with you?
Yeah,
Years.
You were like the top of my interview list. Genuinely, too. That's not even a joke.
It never got to happen, and now, I mean, we wasted no time here at least. At least we
No.
got to get like right into it.
I got the text message a couple days ago, and I was like,
Yes.
oh, I already had plans for this, so this is okay, yeah.
I feel like you've been telling me that we've had plans to do this, for like a while. But anyways, we get to do it today. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm just excited that you're here. It's
There's
so
two of
cool.
us.
Like
According to the internet, it's many of us, actually.
many of
Yes.
us. So in preparation for this, obviously I was like there when you debuted and knew that it was going to happen. I was like right by the curtain, like as it happened to hear it. But then to go back and watch it,
It was cool.
I still like it. Like kind of made me a little emotional.
That was cool.
Like, it
It made
was
me
just
super
so
emotional.
I don't like whether it was just like the presentation, knowing that this was such a big moment for you, and you just feel like someone that's supposed to be here.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly feels that way now. It's one of them fun things too, where the unknown is terrifying.
Yeah.
So I had no clue what the next step was going
to
to be.
do that too.
And I didn't even know if I was going to land here. I
Yeah.
wanted to, but I didn't know. So there was a lot of emotions for 6 to 8 weeks leading up to it. And it's funny, like I'm an emotional guy. I'm super emotional. We always say with Willow, it's like you can have big emotions,
Yeah.
cry it out, whatever it is, you have it. And for me, it's like if I have big matches or just something I'm really looking forward to, I start to get it when I train. I'll like be doing my cardio and I start to just well.
Oh my God.
And then I train and I'm fine, but it's always that cardio.
Yeah.
And I hadn't had that in a bit. And as I was just approaching just the hope of maybe this is going to happen, like I would start to really feel it. And then once we actually discussed the entrance and me and Mike Mansouri started to piece together the silhouette, I remember being like in the gym at my house and just kind of envisioning it and literally like welling. And I was like, okay, wow. Like, which to me is a trigger that like we're onto something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
you know what I mean? Like when it's real
Special.
and raw, yeah. Like, so, because it's not something that happens a ton. Like, it's not a regular match or a regular moment. But
Right.
this
It's
was a big
almost
one.
like kind of like falling in love again, And like I can kind of go back to my feelings of seeing this with John, and maybe your wife could have sort of, I know she's known you longer and she's seen you during different
right.
iterations of your career and whatnot, but I remember when John was getting ready to come here and all of a sudden I was like, who's that
See a
guy?
different- yeah.
This is a guy that is like so in love with this
Yeah.
sport and with this medium. What was that? What were the conversations that you were kind of like having with your wife, with Willow, while you guys were figuring out what these next moves were going to be?
Well, to touch on that, I do think that every performer, specifically people who've come up through the independent scene, like you love this business. And the thing you really genuinely want is for it to love you back.
Yeah.
And like I've been told numerous times that
That is the
this isn't the
relationship.
business doesn't love you back.
Yeah.
But like I'm an optimist, so like I think it's not gonna love you back 100% of the time.
Sure.
But those moments when it does, like we thrive for that,
Yeah.
so that's what I
Like
feel like.
Tinkerbell with the claps.
Yeah, a little pixie dust happened here.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of that going on right now for me, where it's like, oh man, I haven't felt loved back for a bit. So that was big. But at home, honestly, it was less about just like looking forward to, oh, we're doing this AEW thing, because there was a ton of uncertainty. Like our decision to move on, we talked about that for months.
Yeah.
I might even say a couple of years,
Yeah.
realistically.
So
but
a lot of like just like checking your bank account and you're like, how long can we coast on
that's a big thing, right?
Yeah.
But then to be honest, that's the biggest thing that you start to go is like, we are getting a definitive income. It's a salary, and you know what the independent scene's like. You understand the travel if you start to go to different countries to do this and stuff. And what's that impact on Willow? What's the impact on my wife and just the life we live? So there's just the biggest decision of it all was like, are we finally ready to do it? And like when I left NXT to make the move to the main roster, financially we were not ready to do that, and we knew it. So there was not really a question of, okay, let's take a risk, let's bet on ourselves. It just wasn't in the cards. Like I'm like, we got at that time a 3-year-old, now 7-year-old. It just wasn't there.
Yeah.
But now I'm starting to go, I think we are at the point financially where let's take the risk. And I'm not getting younger. Like, I don't feel old. I feel great. I feel healthy.
You look great.
I appreciate it.
Shit.
But it's one of the things where you're like, it just everything lined up. So our discussions were far more about real life than it was this dream. And while that was going on, a lot of work was being done in the dark.
Yeah.
Like preparation. Like these are things. I don't think anything that went down the last week between Dynamite and Collision was like full happenstance. Like the preparation was there.
Yeah,
like
sure.
The conversations, the second they started, so I already have this music that I want. I already have this presentation that I want. This is what I envision my logo. This so we did a lot of that. It was a lot of work.
It felt very flushed out, which is why I think that moment was like, it just felt like another star-making moment for you of like, damn, you're here, this is who we're getting, Psycho Killer is back. What was your creative process of kind of figuring out what you want to do? I know you don't have to give us too much information, but...
I honestly sat on it for years. So when I left Ring of Honor, and I don't know what year that was a bit ago, 2012 I want to say. When I went to the independent scene after that, Psycho Killer, the track, Talking Heads and all that, became my entrance music. And it genuinely took on a life of its own. And it became like my persona. And it wasn't something that I thought about at all. It just clicked. And the people made it that way. And they would sing to it and stuff. But that 2 years on the indies, like I kind of exploded. And like merchandising sales and all this stuff was going so well. So then when I signed with NXT, like that was my vehicle to get to NXT. But then it all went away. Like, you start, now we're being positioned. I was an underdog babyface in a tag team. I wasn't Psycho Killer. None of that existed, the music and all that. So forever, there was just this part of me that went like, I wonder how far I could have taken that.
Yeah.
Like I had all these envisions of what the next chapters were. Like I'm a very plan 10 steps ahead type of guy. And I never got to
see one of these vision
see
boards.
it through. I'm a vision board guy. That's what I am. And so I just, I sat, and I will say that parts of Blackheart blended, like parts of it, parts of the look, parts of the demeanor, parts of the walk, how I wanted to portray myself. But even that was different because I understood with Blackheart, it was I have to live in kayfabe, and that's not really a thing now.
Yeah.
But I could do it then because the WB audience didn't know Tommaso Whitney the person.
Yeah.
He's a husband, he's having a kid, etc. So I could just be Blackheart. Now it's like, the curtain's really been pulled back. People saw our documentary with my daughter. I share a lot of stuff with her. Like I'm girl dad through and through.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, what's this evolution of this Psycho Killer persona? And it just all lined up. Like I don't view Psycho Killer as this crazy lunatic no one knows about. It's like, it's just, hey man, I'm grounded. I take care of my family. I'm as calm and collected as I can be. But when the light's on and when it's time to go to work, I'm going to provide. And if that means I have to kind of elicit this other part of me, because I'm super intense. I'm a complete workhorse. Like I understand my strengths for sure.
I mean, I just
So
see the
put
training
that there.
videos alone and I'm like, shit.
I love it. That's my therapy. You know what I mean? So but it's just a lot. It was a lot of 10 years worth of like, how can we get this thing to where I want it? And a lot of it, even like little things like trademarking it and getting with a lawyer. And it was funny when I saw internet like leaking some of that stuff. My wife was like, oh, how are they leaking it? I'm like, I don't think that's a bad thing.
Sure.
I think that's okay.
Yeah.
I think it's okay for people to see like, oh, there's some stuff being done here.
It's also like, I mean, for you to have like released your statement that you were not going to be re-signing with WWE, leaving that big question mark, you've deleted all your previous social media before that as well, right?
The social media going black was more happenstance. Like I was dealing with a little bit of an injury. We had a lot of stuff going on at home, and I was like, I'm going to take a break, like a week, 2 weeks, whatever it is. But you're on social media. Like you take a break and you're like, I don't want to go back to that.
Sometimes it's just nice to be a voyeur. Just let me look. I don't want to contribute. I can like watch.
And I wasn't
things,
even
but,
looking.
like,
I deleted the apps.
Yeah,
I was
that's smart.
but then when I decided like to go back and put the app back on, I was like, nah. And I was like, not only that, I was like, let me just erase it all, which I have done this in the past. I've done this, like, just kind of like an MO of mine now.
It's a little hard to
sometimes I just delete,
Yeah.
like, you don't need to see this stuff anymore. But yeah, and then it just the happenstance of once you start to realize, hey, we're moving in a different direction. I was like, me and my wife talked about, I was like, okay, I'm just not going to go back until it's time to go back.
Yeah.
Which definitely worked out.
And now you're posting about giraffe trips. You're just out there living it up with giraffes.
Dude.
Why was that the trip to go and check off your bucket list without knowing that you were going to come here? I know you have spoken about this a little bit already, but
location. So forever, my wife has talked about this place, Blue Hills Ranch. It's unreal. It's in McGregor, Texas, like in the middle of nowhere. And it's hard when you're on the road all the time to like build in trips.
You don't really want to travel.
Yeah. So we knew my contract end date, and I was very, very private about that. No one knew that date. Like, I don't even know that my tag partner at the time knew the specific date. I just didn't tell anyone.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, hey,
Sorry,
contract
buddy.
ends midnight the 26th. And I already had the plan of what I wanted the next evolution to be and the presentation to be. Whether or not AEW was going to be the place to do it was kind of wishful thinking.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, let me see where they are. And I just gave the 2 locations to my wife. I said, hey, they're in Texas on Wednesday and Saturday. And her light bulb went off.
Ding, ding,
Oh,
ding.
Before she's even speaking to me, she's just doing. And I'm like, I don't know what the heck she's doing. And she goes, oh my gosh, look, it's right in the middle of the 2 of them. This is insane. I still don't know what we're talking about. I go, what, yeah. So she fills me in, and I was like, well, hey, book it. Like, let's do it. We'll take Willow out of school for a couple days. Best case scenario, this all lines up.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, we have this awesome family trip. Like, we're free to do it. Let's do it. But when the AEW thing, I mean, fast. Like, when I put out the statement that I was leaving, rumblings started of just, oh, he's really available. This isn't just a rumor. And, you just talk to a couple people of just like, are you interested? Mm-hmm. I'm very interested. Well, it seems like there's interest here. But that was the end of it. And then the second Tuesday happened, it was, hey, let's connect you with Mikey Ruckus for music. Let's connect you with Mike Manzuri for Tron. Let's just get this ball rolling. And it almost feels like hindsight. I was like, it feels to me like they were doing a little work in the dark as well as I was doing work in the dark.
Everyone's wheels were spinning.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it came together just, I don't know, it couldn't have come together better.
All right, let's talk your family a little bit here. I mean, obviously, it's your family. It's a huge part of your life. They were a big decision maker for you to be able to move in this direction. You and your wife were introduced by Samoa Joe? Yeah. Tell me about this. I didn't know Joe was such a matchmaker. Yeah. I mean, I guess I kind of, I see it a little bit.
So she worked in both TNA and WWE as a backstage producer before I ever met her. And she was out of the business for years before I met her. But she became friends with Joe, AJ, Sanjay, Lethal, Christopher Daniels, etc. in her TNA time. And she was working independently as a freelancer, and she wanted to do this show that would be following independent wrestlers. You'd see what they do in the ring, but you really get to know the person. And she basically asked Joe, like, hey, could you look at this list of people and then tell me if you have people added? And Joe added my name to a list.
Good guy.
I don't think I even really knew Joe at the time very well,
Yeah.
So our first ever interaction was on MySpace.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
MySpace DM or message, I forget what those are called.
On the MySpace days.
MySpace matchmaker. Just Samoa Joe and MySpace. And honestly, we talked.
What a throwback sentence that is.
Yeah, we spoke one time, and you know what the deal maker, I guess, was for me? I'm a homebody, and I'm terrible with directions.
Oh.
And I was living at my mom and dad's at the time. I think I just had like a little knee scope or something, and I was just coming back from it. And when she gave me her address, because we were going to go to a show together so she could see what the independent scene was, she was 5 minutes away.
Great.
And it was a location I knew, and I was just like, oh, I can do this, because I've been known to completely ignore or break off dates.
You must have been a nightmare in the MapQuest days.
Awful.
Don't ride with this guy.
You have to print it out. Yeah, no detour. Yeah, no, awful. So yeah, that was a big part of it. We lived 5 minutes apart, and literally started dating the day we went to the show, and there's been together since.
It's really funny how that happens. I feel like John and I were like that, and that like we talked, and then like when we were actually like, all right, we're gonna try this. It was like we were just
No hiccups.
together. That
Yeah,
was just
there was
that
never
was
a
that.
hiccup. Yeah.
So now you guys have Willow. She's 7 years old, and you guys went through an IVF journey
We
to
did,
make this
yeah.
happen. What a doozy that can be, huh?
Yeah, so that was actually what kind of completely broke any semblance of me being Blackheart again when I came back, because they wanted to document the neck surgery, but then in the neck surgery we were talking about Willow because she was a baby, she was with us for it and stuff, and I kind of gave the story about IVF with her, and the company loved it, and I understood why. And I remember the conversation of like, hey, we should put this out as a doc, and I was like, we can, but I can't come back as the character. But there was also this thought of like, hey, everyone knows you gave up the title for neck surgery. You're going to come back and they're going to cheer you anyway.
Sure.
So it's one of those, like, yeah, whatever, let's do it. But yeah, Willow is like our little like magic child. Like we were going through IVF for, I would say, a better part of 2 to 3 years.
Ooh.
We had 6 or 7 failed attempts, and my wife was aging out of the specific program we were in, and we had 1 embryo left, and that was Willow. And it was
Holy.
like, yeah, I get a little worked up thinking.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's she's just a godsend, and I think when you go through that, like your appreciation for being able to, 1, have a healthy child, 2, being able to be parents, like there's nothing that brings me more joy.
Yeah.
Like it's completely altered how I look at pro wrestling and life and everything. But it was, yeah, a crazy journey to get to her. And the reason her name is Willow is when the last bit of this IVF, the IVF was nuts. I was living in Orlando, training at the PC, doing all that. We had a house in Milwaukee, and my wife was working in LA doing Big Brother television.
Oh my gosh.
So we were barely seeing each other. We were like coming together for doctor visits. It was
Send me that egg.
dude,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Great. And funny enough, while it's happening, like I had the ACL surgery and the shoulder surgeries, and I'm coming back knowing I'm going into this Blackheart thing. So it's like,
Yeah.
it was this weird time in my life where my private life in the dark was just hectic, and no one had a clue. And I'm still performing as this, it was a weird time.
Yeah. Can't
But,
really catch your breath.
I remember after all these different failed attempts, there was this kind of cuckoo needling, what's that
Little
called?
acupuncture, yeah,
woman,
yeah.
real eccentric. And she would say to Jesse, like, you have to speak to the baby as if she's a plant, and you're feeding her, and you've planted the seed, and you're watering it, and you're nurturing it.
Yeah.
So you have to start talking to her and let her grow. And we already had like Willow on our list, but we started to just talk to the baby as Willow.
Yeah.
You do that for 2-3 months, like you ain't gonna then change the name. You know?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's how it all started with her, and she loves that to this day. She's obsessed with willow trees because she thinks it's the coolest story.
Cool. What is the surgery that Willow had to have?
So I've not shared this, but I know I did talk to you briefly offline about it. So when she was pretty young, so right out the gate, I have, and I'll look at camera for this, and under my tongue, it's really gross. It's just like big purple veins.
Yeah.
But bigger and weirder than normal people.
Okay.
So when Willow was little, she had these little like white veins.
Okay.
And we're like, oh, she just has dad's, whatever. Never has been an issue for me. But as she started to get older, she wasn't like speaking on time. And we started to get a little concerned. So we started bringing it up. And it was one of those things, I don't know, like they had no like clue what it was. They didn't think it would be bad. But then she stopped eating.
Oh.
You know, and we're like, she's definitely in pain. She feels this. Because they kept saying that, oh no, it's not causing pain. It's like when you have a dog and they're like, the dog doesn't feel pain.
Right.
It's like, do you know the dog doesn't feel pain?
Right.
I was like, she's acting like she feels pain.
Yeah.
So we finally got with this one guy, total godsend. He was like the head of the clinic. And he looked at it and immediately was like, hey, we have to do some tests on this, but we have to like remove it for the test. But when he gave us the
Have
list,
to remove what?
the thing under her tongue. It was like it looked like an abscess. It started to grow.
Okay.
So that little white vein started to just
Got
get
it.
into like these little clusters.
Oh gosh.
And he was like, we have to remove it because it's obviously causing her difficulty. But then he gives us the list, and like it's 5 terms on the list, and the first 4 terms were cancer, and the first 3 were like she's gonna go into chemo, and like it was really terrifying. So he's prepping us for it, and he's just like, this is likely what it is. He's like, there is this very like rare off chance that it's not, but this is likely what it is. So let's prep. And they even had like a counselor come in and stuff like that. So then we have to take her in for the surgery, and like it's hard when they're that age, like because they want to sedate them with the mask thing, and it was a whole process. But we had to sedate her just to get her in the CT scan, you know. So that was a process.
Yeah.
Then we go for the surgery, and it was insane. We had the surgery, and she really toughed it out. But he calls us a day or 2 later, and he's like, I got the results back, and he's like, you're never gonna believe this. It was number 5 on the list, and number 5 on the list is a word I to this day still can't pronounce, and it is commonly found in adult men who are HIV positive, and it's the most rare. And to this day, he was like, I don't understand.
That's
how,
crazy.
why. He's like, it shouldn't come back. He goes, there's a rare chance it will, but luckily, if it does, it's just another quick. And dude, she woke up. He was like, she's probably gonna wake up in pain, etc. She woke up and like wanted chocolate milk and chicken fingers and French fries within 6 hours, and eating. And she started talking like so much more. And there's one of the things like hindsight. We're like, man, we had no clue. Like, I wish we could have got this quicker for her.
Yeah, yeah.
But that process, like that, like whatever.
That'll shake you to your core.
Dude. And it was only, a matter of.
How old was she?
She was 2, like early 2. So she's always been like a bit behind. But now she's not with language, but she was up until that point.
Yeah.
But like that, maybe it was a 3 or 4 week period of cancer being brought into the equation and stuff. Like it's changed our lives.
Yeah, of course.
How I view any problems is just like, I genuinely think of it all the time.
Yeah.
Like I thought of it when the decision came of leaving WB and taking the next. I'm like, we're healthy. Like
Right.
we're healthy. She's thriving. We're gonna be good.
Everyone's good.
Yeah, we're gonna be good. Like no matter what, we're gonna be good.
Yeah.
And so it's really had such an impact on our lives in such a positive way. And she's now, I mean, she's just like the coolest thing ever.
What did she think of your debut?
So how I knew the music was going to be a hit was she's so into music, and we played it for her, and she was humming it the whole day.
Yeah,
And I just remember looking at my wife going like,
that's it.
like we so are onto something
Yeah.
here. And funny enough, Adam Copeland texted me after it, and he goes, dude, my girls were humming your music when I was putting them to sleep. And it was so funny because like we talk a lot about, being a girl dad and stuff.
Yeah.
But she was so, I will say she had her moment when Daddy had to tell her that he wasn't going to be at WB anymore, because a 7-year-old frames that in a wild way.
Sure.
The questions were like, it was almost like I was starting a new school.
Right, yeah.
Like, well,
I mean, it kind of is a little bit.
It is, right? But to her, you don't know anyone there. What if they're mean to you? Aren't you going to miss all your buddies? And she's going to miss a couple because she has a couple
Yeah.
favorites, so she's going to miss
We
a
got
couple
some good kids
buddies.
around here. She'll be all right.
Yeah, well, I will say her first experience was so, like Willow Nightingale. Oh my
Yeah, I was going to say, did Willow meet Willow?
dude. Whew,
Yeah,
lost her mind.
I bet.
Same name. She smiles. She's waving. She's got cool hair, like title belts. Like,
Yeah.
I think she's already over it. She's ready to move on.
It's so cool to see them like in this environment and what they gravitate towards and what they like. And it is funny being able to see a child's mind too, of like to know when something kind of works, because their brains are just fresh and they like what they like.
Yeah.
Being a girl dad, why is it so important for you to I guess, to be a girl dad? And like, what does that mean to you?
I'm super lucky. I have really, really good parents. We had like a really good childhood. we were, I don't know if we were slightly below middle class when it came to that stuff. We have a lot of those memories of, open the stove to heat things because we can't pay for the
Right.
oil and whatever, that type of stuff. We're like, sometimes bathing with a hose or whatever. But as far as love and presence, presence, not presents.
Presents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's a
Not a
huge
T,
thing
not a
I always
T.
say. I'm like, presence over presence. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
We were so taken care of. So for me, like, it was funny, and I'm sure you're the same way. Like, when they're so little, you start to realize, like, oh, whoa, look at how much crap I took from my parents that I'm doing with them.
Yeah.
And as she's getting older and like meeting her friends, she's in Girl Scouts and stuff. Like, I don't know what it is about it all, but it's like the most peaceful thing ever for me to just. And we're so lucky we can provide this life for her.
Mm-hmm.
We live in Orlando. She's at Disney all the time. She just like we always say. I'm like, this kid just fed giraffes, hung out with sloths,
Doing
swam
all
with
right.
otters,
Yeah.
did the wrestling thing. I got to bring her with me after winning the title, so she walked up on stage with me.
She's getting that
She has
spotlight.
no idea that this isn't normal,
Yeah.
But I just love it. Like, I don't know. I love her friends. Like, I love all of it. Like, I love we are the house. You come to her. So that was the one thing I switched from my childhood. I had all the things I wanted to take from my parents, but you also have the couple things that you're like, oh, I'll do that different. No one really could come to our house much as kids. Like we didn't have sleepovers and stuff. And I remember saying with Jesse, I was like, listen, whatever we buy, because we bought the house right when Willow was born. I was like, it's got to be the house that everyone comes to. We got to have the pool, the trampoline, the backyard, etc. So we're that house. We host the
the
Girl
hang
Scouts every month or so. Like, we have a Valentine party Monday when I get back. Like, and it's the coolest. Like, because one, she's safe. I'm looking after her. I don't have to worry about any of that because it's a crazy world.
Totally.
And I get to meet all these different people and bring them in. And the cool thing too, like, she's in regular public school system and stuff, and she's got friends in every like demographic, every dynamic. It's all over the map.
Yeah.
And I love that, like, we're able to just kind of, I wouldn't say provide for them because they all have their own families, homes, but just like share,
Yeah.
Like, I saw this quote this woman said not long ago, and she was like, if you say you don't care about being rich, then you don't understand how much you can help people.
Yeah.
And like, I don't even classify us as rich, but we're very comfortable and very like well off.
Yeah.
And it's so awesome to be able to be like, hey,
We got it.
come, just come.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's the coolest feeling ever to
It is
just,
great.
don't worry, you want to come to the park with us, you want to, like, just come. Like, I
Yeah.
just love that. I love being able to do that. You know?
It is so nice. Okay, so for Willow saying to you, you're kind of going to a new school, we don't know how everyone's going to be. You do have a lot of familiar faces.
Yeah, more than
a
I
lot of
even
new
thought
faces,
of.
a lot of
Yeah.
familiar faces. What
Yeah.
was that moment like to walk into the ring and lock eyes with Mark Briscoe?
So cool. I mean, I love the Briscoes, him
Yeah.
and Jamin. My time in ROH, they were definitely top dogs, and I was just trying to figure it out. But they always just had such a presence. You know what I mean? Like, we'd be going, like, we all hung out at the hotels after shows and stuff. And Jay always had crazy in his eyes. Like, you didn't want to cross him. He was very intimidating.
Yeah.
And Mark always had the opposite, where you were like, this guy is going to
Can't not
welcome
love him.
everybody. And he's so welcoming. It was so funny, the dynamic. But I loved both. I had so much respect for both. I got to do just a little bit with them as far as multi-mans, tags, singles. So when it was proposed as the idea was like, oh, hey, so this is where it's going to be. You're going to, have a face-off with him, and then we're going to get straight to a title match. Like, I don't think I would have done as good of a job if I looked at the whole roster and picked the first matchup.
Yeah.
Familiar person, most likable babyface probably in all of pro wrestling. Like, impossible not to get behind him.
Yeah.
And just such he made the weekend so much better for us. Like, that's the thing with Willow. I like to introduce her to the opponent. Is it daddy's turn? Is it his turn? Et cetera.
Yeah.
That it eases her a little bit. And how, like, he's got nine kids, right? And he had his baby with him.
Yeah.
He's the most, so
He
for
has
her,
a bus that he transports his kids in.
yeah, he brings the farm, so
Yeah.
he just made it even cooler because she just thought he was the coolest and so
Yeah.
funny. Oh, he does the kung fu thing, and
Yeah.
but for me, I mean, to share it with him and also for how he handled it, like, you can decide to play politics, or you can decide to be selfish in this business. Everyone has their own way of going about it. He was so gracious, and he was so just happy for me.
Yeah.
It felt like this like long lost family member.
He's kind of
where he
bopping
was
to
just
your
like,
music when you
he
came
was.
out,
He
too.
told me that. He said it as he goes, "Bro, I didn't know your music would be that cool." He was like, I was like,
It
this.
cut to him and he's like,
Yeah,
all
he was like, he
right.
goes, I was watching. I was like, this dude, he looks cool, and I was like, but that's what you want,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
you get lost.
We know as the wrestlers what's like. If we dig it, then they're
It's
gonna
good.
dig it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was. He made it just a dream of a weekend. And you know, the match too. My
Yeah.
God, he's just the greatest.
Yeah.
I love him.
He's pretty good. As you're sizing up the roster, there's a lot of new faces. There's
Yeah.
a lot of big, buzzy names that you've probably not been able to get in the ring with. Who are you looking at that you would like to have some of those matches with? And what are some of the things that you've picked up during your life in pro wrestling that you want to instill in this next generation?
Well, funny enough, you got to remember, I think everyone probably would remember when Cody had his list,
Yeah.
right? And he did it so nice. It was like a little glass of something, and it was a nice pen. It was a handwriting.
Yeah.
I remember, so I started to go like, oh, I wonder if I should do a spoof off of that with like a list. And I did. I looked at the roster page, and like I think I got up to like past 25 of this is just going first time matchups, people I've never seen. And I was just like, oh, this is insane.
Yeah.
Like that's not even counting like Kyle, Roddy, all the people I've actually shared a ring with and
Yeah.
stuff. So it's a never-ending list. I think one goal I for sure have is, so in Ring of Honor, I remember thinking like, man, I wish I got to wrestle with, Generico and Hero and Claudio and
You can pull Hero out of
Brian.
retirement here. Let's get him going.
Well, I wrestled him at
Yeah.
NXT.
Yeah.
But I just saying that there was this whole mix that I never, the whole time I was there, I never did. And then even in WWE, there was quite a few people that I was like, crap, like look at all these matchups I could have had, Seth and Randy and AJ, and just there was this long list again. Like I wrestled Sami Zayn twice on a live event, and just the chemistry was insane.
great.
And I was
Yeah.
like, I wish we could have just done that.
Yeah.
So that's like a huge goal of mine at AEW is to go like, I don't want to leave this list unchecked.
Yeah.
Like, I want to check this list off. Like, and ideally, because I love stories, I want stories, but I also understand that like while a story is going for 3 to 6 months, there can be these little,
Definitely.
yeah. So
Yeah, little pit stops along the way.
I just look at that list and I'm just like, it just never ends. John's up there for sure. And, and it's fun because you can go into all like dynamics, like, cause like there's the Cope, Christian, John, like these people, Samoa Joe that are, just real veterans. But then there's also like, you can be like, well, I'm a massive Darby Allin fan, like love his stuff. Like I just look top to bottom. I'm just like, it never ends.
It's a
like,
lot of options.
I was on a flight yesterday and Omega's there and I'm just like, oh yeah, that's a,
Give me that.
that'd be a hell of a match. Like, well, when do we do that one?
Yeah.
It doesn't end. Like Okada, Takeshita, it just goes on
There's
and
a
on.
lot of good options.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I could keep doing this for a long time. I have a ton of stuff I didn't even get to talk to you about, but we might have to do a part 2 on this one.
Happy to do
I'm
that.
so happy that you're here. Cannot wait to see all the things that you're going to do, and I'm just excited to be a fan.
I'm happy we got to do this finally.
Me too.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah,
So we'll
very
do a
cool.
part 2 at another point.
I'm in. Thanks, guys.